finally it has happened on air. Great.
Good to see you.
Same here. Very, very happy to see you on it. I'm so thankful that you've given me this chance and opportunity to talk to you. We do have people joining in, but since I have limited time with you, I'll start off with a small introduction and then I'll just ask you some questions and then we'll leave the floor for some people.
But listen, is my voice clear? Is it
100%? Okay. I can hear you. And is my voice clear as well? Can you hear?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So here we go. Hi, everyone. Thank you to all who have tuned in and will be tuning in the live session as we progress. Today's very, very special live behind the curtain episode as well. I do pre-recorded, but this is live, which will be showcased on the official page of RRP. I have a very, very special individual, a kind soul, a good human being, an award-winning filmmaker with me, the individual who brought you the very touching and hard-hitting film, My Brother Nikhil, the individual who went on to win National Award for the film I Am, and has accolades of 13 film awards under his belt, from exhibiting various genres that include Bas Ek Pal to Sorry Bhai to Shab. And yes, the individual who I had the opportunity to meet, host and entertain at the first ever Pakistan International Film Festival in 2018, where I had witnessed his deep and soothing spectacle, Kuch Bhige Alfaz. Ladies and gentlemen, without much delay, I have Onir with me. Onir, thank you so much for being part of it.
Thank you so much, and hello everyone.
And hello everyone watching as well. Yes, Onir, obviously we will go on with the session, but first, because hum shuru kar rahe hain, a very, very tragic thing happened last week. We lost two legends in Indian cinema, Irfan Khan and Rishi Kapoor, and I just wanted to have a small second of tribute to them. And also I want to tell you that the entire nation of Pakistan, the entire fraternity, the entire media industry was mourning. They were upset because Indian cinema, Bollywood cinema is as close as anything else, and I think it was a great loss. Some thoughts from your end as well?
Yeah, I feel that it was, I had actually on 29th, we were scheduled to do quite a few live, Insta live sessions with my artists because it was celebrating 9 years of I Am. And when one woke up and had the news, everyone knew that he was ill for a while, but somehow it was, and he's not even a very close friend. Of course, I know him well, but he's not someone I would define as a close friend. He's an artist one adores, but one felt a very, very deep sense of loss, And I realized that all through the day that this loss was not just felt by the people from the industry, but it was felt by everybody in the entire subcontinent.
Of course.
And, my next morning, my first tweet, and this was before one again came with the other, very sad news, the demise of Rishi Kapoor. I had to put out a tweet saying that it seems as if the entire subcontinent is mourning, in the morning,
Absolutely.
And I feel that, which we always spoke about when, I've been coming to Karachi since 2012. That's when my first trip. And 2018, when I met you, was my third trip.
Right.
Is that, I think there is this organization called Aman Ki Asha.
Yes, Aman Ki Asha. Absolutely.
Cinema is that.
Absolutely.
And cinema is what can bind us together, keeps us together because we share the same emotions, the same history, the same, language. There's too many things, apart from a pretty border.
Maybe, I know. There are political things.
I know that, that the anguish that we felt here was also shared by people in Pakistan, whether it is Irfan Khan or Rishi Kapoor. And it's just that, life has to go on, but their work will be always celebrated. That is what, that work stays back, and will be always remembered for that.
Right. Thank you for that. I thought it was important to talk about it. I want you to tell me a bit about your journey on it. Like, you work with hard hitting subjects. You've been a documentary filmmaker. You've done editing, and at this point, winning awards. Just a little bit, but we have inspiring filmmakers joining us as well. Just a little bit in brief. How has it been?
I will say that it's been an extremely fulfilling journey because I was born and brought up in Bhutan in a place called Thimphu, where and my parents are teachers, and there was one cinema hall, and every week there would be a new film. And when I was in class 8, I saw a film by Shyam Benegal called Junoon. And somewhere deep inside me, that desire to become a filmmaker started. But I never, knew how I would achieve this. And then from there, coming from Bhutan, then coming to India, learning filmmaking, and then finally being a part of that dream that one had, I think I could not have asked for anything more. Though I chose the independent. A lot of people say that, okay, especially after the success of my first film, that why don't you go into more mainstream? But I do what makes me happy.
Okay. Fair enough.
I didn't join the film industry because I wanted to be, a certain kind of, I'm here because I had stories to tell, a certain kind of stories to tell.
Absolutely.
And I'm a very, very happy person, that I have got to do what I dreamt always.
Right. So of course you're doing all these different sort of subjects, and where do you get your inspiration from? Like, do you just do research? Do you have these stories? Do you meet people?
Actually, it's a mix of different things because as a filmmaker, one, especially the kind of films I do, is inspired by real life mostly. So you are, it's the news, it's people you meet, it is incidents that's happening around you. Everything together, everything kind of influences one, and that's how you start, getting your stories, your own life. So I feel that various aspects, come together.
Okay, and when you do these films, do you also sometimes get backlash if you attempt a very hard subject? Do you have people who be like, are you attempting a specific thing, or do you ignore such feedback coming?
The thing is, there would be always, because especially when you have films that deal with sexuality, it is definitely going to get a certain kind of backlash in the kind of society we belong to. But I feel that if you are honest with your work and you know that why you want to tell a certain story and the importance of that story, you realize, it's like the same as in the Twitter world, I say that.
Yeah.
If I put in something which is a strong political or social statement, at the end of it, if I'll see, suppose, 100 retweets, and I will see 10. Sorry, there was a call coming in.
No problem.
Then the abuses don't matter to me.
Okay.
I ignore them. I sometimes choose that if there is a space of dialogue, then I try to have a dialogue, because sometimes you can change people with dialogue. But if I realize that it's just ranting out of
nothing,
then I just ignore, because I rather nurture what's positive.
Absolutely. There's tremendous positive energy which surrounds you every time I've interacted with you. So I don't think you give into any sort of controversies or anything which has anything as negative to say. Now, very recently, you were part of the Pakistan International Film Festival as well, and you came down, and there was an attempt. Have you seen any Pakistani films?
Unfortunately, not as much as I would have liked to. But of course, the early ones were films like Bol. There was a phase when Pakistani films were getting released here. Also, Nabil Qureshi is a very close friend. So he used to, we share I think, first proper relationship kind of with Pakistan started when I was making my film I Am. Right. And at that time, it was through crowdfunding. And Nabil was one of the first. He was one of the co-producers. So at that time they sent money, through Dubai. But for me it was very touching. He was not a filmmaker then. He was working in an ad agency, and he would ask me questions like, what should I do to be a filmmaker? Right. And I remember, and he always tells me now whenever I go that, remember you told me that when you make your first film, it should be your own script. And apparently that pushed him to write his own script as his first film. Of course. So, and whenever he makes a film, he sends me the link and I watch it, and I look forward to watching his films. So there have been, but recently one of the things I did was on the internet, on Netflix I think, I went back and watched a lot of Pakistani series which I had never watched before. And tell me more, what did you watch? Yeah. There were these two series. One is Humsafar, old ones, and one is Zindagi Guzara. Zindagi Guzara, right? Yeah, right. And because I always, the way the language, oh my God, it's phenomenal. Everyone is dressed naturally, look natural, and everything was so beautiful that I didn't think that I would see the entire entire series. Okay. Yeah, both I watched totally, and I totally enjoyed, and I always wished that there could be much more of exchange and working together than what it is right now. Okay, so that's great. The Urdu is so fine, yeah. Everything is good. Urdu fine, people are responding to your thing. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, I mean, we do have, Pakistan is accelerating at a very phenomenal pace with the serials, and we do have great content. I wish that it can be exhibited on both the borders, both ways, and I think it makes a big difference. I want to ask you, when you're making these films, how much do you consider commerce and finance being an integral part of filmmaking? And does that matter or does that not matter, or you let it go? Honestly speaking, I think it's a weakness. I wouldn't say it's a strength. And it's become a habit, because most of my films I produced myself with friends. Yeah. So when I made my first film, My Brother Nikhil, nobody believed in the film. It was obvious that the commerce for the film would be different. Yet there were so many people who believed in the film that they came together to make the film. And I think because of that, I have got into this terrible habit that money is not the driving force. I know it's important, and if your content has a value, it finds a market. Like today, after 15 years of My Brother Nikhil, you'll see it in Amazon, Netflix, Hotstar, 3 platforms. Same with I Am. So I feel that if a good film is not bound by time. A week ago, one of my script mentors, who is the festival director of the New Zealand International Film Festival, sent me a message that I Am is trending in Netflix New Zealand. So what more do you want as a filmmaker? So unfortunately, money has not been the driving force. Of course, subconsciously somewhere it is there that I try and be economic, so that, but the greed for box office is lesser to me than the greed to be able to make a film that stays with people, that changes. I'll be always proud that My Brother Nikhil was one of the first films in that genre. I'll be proud that I Am was the largest and the first crowdsourced and crowdfunded film through social networks in India. Right. and it had many subjects which were again the first in terms of BA. Yeah, I'm very proud that Kuch Bhige Alfaz was the first time that a girl with leukodoma is the main protagonist of a film. So I'm happy that my repertoire has a lot of firsts.
Awesome, that's great. So you mentioned coming to Pakistan quite a few times, and you mentioned interacting with people. Tell me some good memories, some times that
there's just too many good memories. I remember the first time I came in 2012. Of course, then you have all those preconceived notions. You're a little scared also, and of course the airport experience wasn't great for the first few minutes. Because suddenly you feel, everything else that followed made me feel at home, apart from the airport,
What happened?
Because so we all came down, and suddenly there was this huge announcement, and I realized it's the same here, Hi Veer, hi everybody. So there was this announcement, Sab Hindustani us taraf. It just felt very strange, kind of. And for me, the minute we got into the bus and met the team from there who had come to welcome us, the entire journey from the airport to the hotel, I still remember that one forgot to look outside. We were all just chatting, because it just felt that we were home and we were chatting like you were meeting your own family. And for me, I always have traveled the world to many various places. I've never felt at home anywhere in the world as much as I felt in Karachi. Especially Karachi. We have been to Lahore also, but Karachi somehow, I don't know, has this... I remember bots. I miss the food.
Bots! That's crazy.
So, and the people, whoever I've met over the years, I keep in touch with them regularly. And I look for, because the last trip was 2018, I'm always just wondering when next can I go back, And so that obviously means that it's been very, very special, because the love one has been showered to. I always feel scared that if you come to Bombay, can I match up 10% of the hospitality that you all gave me? No, really. I always tell everybody that I don't think I can do that. The kind of love that was showered on all of us, was incredible.
Humbled and honored. This is what it is. I believe there is a sense of love, and there's a sense of accepting each other as it is. And I'm sure when the chance does come that if we have to travel, I believe it will work out. And I'm looking forward to that, because I haven't gotten a chance being a filmmaker. Like, hopefully we don't like mingling with politics and all that. Arts and entertainment is very away from it, and we don't want to bring it in the middle. Achha, so this Karachi airport is one of your very...
And then we had this thing also, I have to tell you another thing, which was also the first time's experience, and everyone, like my friend there, who I met at that time, they still make fun of me every time we meet, because there is this police reporting thing.
I know.
10 of us, out of which somehow I was the chosen one that you gave me, and there was 2. And a whole lot of drama happened for a couple of hours. At the end of it, the police guy there, he takes out an egg. Anda. Okay. Yeah, and there was a hen running around. He says, "Yahan ka hai? आप लेकर जाओ ये हमारी तरफ से तोपा है ये अंडा." And anyway, I was constantly making hopas, and this friend of mine kept on kicking me from below the table, don't say the wrong things out here. But the anda is something everyone makes fun of till now.
Why did they give it anda? I don't understand.
These things happen. It doesn't matter.
No, but when you were here, obviously, you got to interact with the filmmakers in Pakistan as well. I'm sure
Yes.
they, I mean,
Yes, yes. And a lot of artists. I think Pakistan has incredible talent, wonderful actors, and interacted a lot with them. And also, I remember that film that I saw at the festival. It was so beautiful. Cake.
Cake. Of course.
So,
Cake.
Cake
so
is
you have
a
to
beautiful film, and your actresses, all Amina and what's her name? Yeah, they're so amazing. Mavish, they're all such wonderful people and wonderful actors.
No, but that's great. You have very positive memories of the thing, of the trip as well. Now, I mean, of course, there's something I want to ask as well. There are lots of people. You're doing something as for emerging filmmakers right now, and you involved in the thing. What can you tell me a bit about it? As in, what's happening?
Since the lockdown started, it started with me making everyday videos about cooking and just generally things that I've been doing. And then I thought that people keep messaging me about filmmaking, how to get into acting, opportunity, and I thought that okay, why not extend this? And it was just like just the thing. I thought, honestly, just took it casually, and I mentioned it to Sanjay Suri, who's my business partner. He says, "Yeah, good idea. Let's try." So we started it off as a 2-minute film festival, which has to be shot indoors, with all lockdown guidelines, because I don't want to be told that he's encouraging people to break it. And every week we would have a new theme, and and we would select 3 best films, the best actor, male, female, and at the end, when the lockdown gets over, I will see the overall who is the best. That person gets to work with me, and the actors will also get to work with me. So you kind of provide a platform for people to showcase their talent, also not feel depressed and stressed, and they're doing something. And it also actually gives you, I never thought that, in fact, till now, I've got about 350 films.
Oh my God!
A couple of them were from Pakistan. 2 of them were, I think, from Karachi. So the first week I had done a special mention one that this is from Pakistan, so I have to do a special mention for that.
That's spectacular.
Hi, Labzo Ki Bayan. I love the name. That's why I had to say hello.
That's very good. Naam, Urdu ka jo hai wo. Bol jo hai.
Labzo Ki Se Ho Bayan. Wow.
Oh, Bayan.
Sounds amazing.
So that's the. Speaking of quarantine, so right now the industry, everything is completely shut. There's absolutely nothing happening, and all precautions.
See, we had said this film.
Labzo Se Ho Bayan. There you go. It's Gilbert right here. He's joined in. There you go. Labzo Se Ho Bayan. Very nice. Hi, Gilbert. Thank you for joining. A shout out to S and Omar, who had also joined us in the middle as well. He was watching from London. All right. So I was talking about the quarantine and the business already. Is it completely nothing is happening?
Yes, I think film industry is going to be hit a lot. It's maybe not the same for television and platforms, but still there's kind of uncertainty because we don't really know what it is going to be post-corona. That because filmmaking, firstly getting people back to the theaters is going to take time. Travel, hotel stays, because you're not shooting everything in sets like television. And then also so many people working together in proximity. How soon is that going to be? Hi,
how is it going to work? I know.
Love you too.
Yeah. Right.
So, I think those things are worrisome and will take a little time.
And the one more thing I want to ask you, and obviously I do talk about it in my sessions as well. Now, I believe that the Indian film industry, Indian television industry, have active guilds, have active unions, right? And could you just tell us a bit about it? Are they actively working? Do you always have these unions in place? Are you always looking out for your technical people? What happens if something goes wrong?
It's like a simple thing, if when I'm starting a film, every assistant that one hires has to have the membership in the Directors Guild. Okay, every actor one hires have to be a member of the Actors Guild. Okay, writers from the Writers Guild. Okay, so it that has two sides to it. One is, of course, and especially if you're shooting in a place like Bombay or Calcutta, which has a strong film industries, that you have to hire guild members. The positive thing is that it protects you in a lot of ways. You know, sometimes like when people don't get paid or a writer's story has been stolen, the guild actually fights for you. You know, similarly, when a lot of due to whatever reason, if crew is not getting paid, their unions will always stand up for them and speak. But at the same time, I feel sometimes when you're working as an independent filmmaker, and you want to work with just volunteers and all, it becomes a little different. Then you have to find ways to work around it. It becomes very difficult in big, cities like Bombay. But when you're shooting in smaller towns, or outdoors, then it's not that difficult because then no one comes to check. But you are, as a film producer, supposed to hire people from the union. That's the
So that is a process. You have to be part of the union. You have to be registered, and then you go forward for any.
Like for example, I'm registered with the Writers Union, Directors Union, and Producers Union. So it kind of otherwise, if you're not with the Producers Union, you cannot release your film.
Right. Okay. So because I believe in Pakistan, I do talk about it. There should be more active guilds happening, but it's a work in progress. We do have associations, but it should be more active. I want to ask you also judging films and everything. What is that one mistake filmmakers make regardless of experience? That one mistake.
Like today, for example, with all these 350 films that have come, and people, keep wanting to me to give feedbacks that why my film was not the best.
It's selected the best. Okay.
Yeah. So I think I realized that suppose like last week the theme was sheep.
Yeah.
That 70 or 80% of the films people would speak up what they think is a big issue.
Right.
Okay, and all approach it because they want to tell the right story.
Right.
Whether they actually, and they don't have anything new to say in that space. They're just saying what is there all over the place. So they are not really looking inward, they're looking outward. Ashok, you're asking me or you're asking Rafay? I'm from Mumbai and Rafay is from Karachi, right?
Yes, I am from Karachi, but currently I am in Toronto right now, Canada, with a different time zone. But yes, originally I'm from Karachi. Hi Ashok, thank you for tuning in.
So I feel that what you were saying, that it's very often people don't. They're always trying to be like someone else.
Okay.
That is what distinguishes, be it a mainstream filmmaker or an independent. When you have something which is individual to bring to the audience, that's when you stand out. If you're always like someone else, then I'd rather go for the original than the duplicate.
Fair enough. Have you worked with difficult actors on your films? And if there's any difficulty arising, how do you keep things professional and not
I've been honestly rather very, very fortunate, and I have a very long time relationship with most of my actors and crew. But I will tell you the story that I was told when I was doing Sorry Bhai by everybody that Shabana ji is going to be difficult and she's going to make you cry and da 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 and all that.
Achha, ye wahan pe bhi hota hai. Achha, I did not know that. All right,
so this is going to happen, da da da.
Okay.
And right from day one, I remember going to a house with for the costume trial before we went to Mauritius, and there were this 19 or 20, different costumes, and she wore all of them and came out, and at the end of it she said, Onir, you're really lucky, I like all of them. So it started off
positive. Wow, okay, positive.
When we were shooting one day with Chitrangada,
yeah,
there was this scene that I wanted a certain way, and Chitrangada was just not feeling. She's like, Onir, do I really need to hug and have tears? I wanted her to do that. I'm not feeling like that. Because she was very nervous working with Shabana the first day. So Shabana looked at me and said that, listen, if she doesn't want to do it, I also don't feel the need, then why are you insisting? I said, okay, as artists, if both of you feel that, go ahead. And they did it, and it didn't work for me. So I told Chitrangada that you've done this, but it doesn't work for me. Now do it the way I want it.
Okay, fair enough.
So she did it.
Right.
And before, when the shot got over, Shabana looked at me and said that you were right. This is better. So I feel that when you know your job and you can, I will, if any artist will give me a good suggestion, which I believe in, I will always take it. Because I believe that we all are there for the good of the film. No one, why would an artist want to harm the film? It's their film as much.
Right.
So either convince me or I'll convince you. So mostly my journey has been, honestly, I can't remember one, and that's why I'm still friends with all of them. We started with a relationship that's formal, but right now they all come home as friends.
That's great. I think the liberty to have a very, very professional and friendly attitude is important in the entertainment industry. And if given the chance, would you love to shoot in Pakistan or come and
you won't believe it. In 2000, I think 19, I finished writing a script. We had a producer also. Which 80% I was supposed to shoot in Pakistan. So it was the same producers who produced my only film that I had an outside producer was Kuch Bhi Alfaz.
Right.
And that same producers, we had worked on a script and everything was, I was just planning that, okay, now I'll go, and I wanted to cast a lot of actors, and then certain things happened which just made it impossible, and that's, someday I'll do that. Of course I want to. I mean, there's no two ways about it, and I know that someday I'll do it. I'm absolutely positive. When I made my film Shab, 2017, the script I had written in 2000.
Right.
It took me 17 years to make that film, but I never gave up. So similarly, I will never give up the thought that I'll go to Pakistan and shoot.
Well, no, I'm happy to hear, and everyone who's watching is happy to as well, because the exchange of creative artists and beyond borders, I think this should be encouraged, and it has always been fruitful. Unfortunately, we are stuck in a time zone where political rivalries do exist, but we can't help it. We're not part of it. We don't want to encourage it, but filmmaking is beyond that. So other than that, obviously this film was in the making, and what is happening? Are you working on something else as well?
Yes, during the lockdown I finished one full script, and from tomorrow I've told myself I'll start another script, because I want to just leave this for a while and come back to it for the second draft after a time. I'm working on some web series concepts, and I think again, depending on what the situation is like, I will hopefully, depending on the situation, either start a film or a web series, something immediately after this.
And talking about web series, do you see this as a very powerful platform for everyone? It should be encouraged, and it is the future.
I think what I love about this platform is, one, it's really good for filmmakers, especially because right now, I don't know how it is in Pakistan, but here people could be Alfaz. Okay, thank you so much, Gilbert. As here, the platforms, firstly, they prefer filmmakers to make, web content, unlike television platforms. And the other thing is what I feel that because there is no censorship as of now, it really empowers independent filmmakers to and it looks for differentiated content. So you have much more possibilities because your audience is also getting exposed to international cinema, so you have much more of freedom. So I feel that this platform is increasingly, a space where filmmakers will, find
a good avenue.
Yeah.
But do you think that the pushing of films going online, is it going to hurt the cinema business in the long run, or is it?
Everyone thought that would happen when TV came in.
Yeah.
Okay. And it did affect for a couple of years, but I'm a lover of cinema. So usually even if something is online, I'll go to the theater and watch it. Hi, Sajid Khan.
Nice.
Sorry.
Question for you.
I had the same question to UK. Acha, he had the same question about the platform.
Right?
Okay, yeah. At the UK Film Festival. So there also had gone with Kuch Bhi Alfaz after Karachi, I think. I had gone to London or after London. So I feel that the charm of sitting in a space where it's collective celebration of cinema can never be, replaced by sitting at home and watching it. I feel cinema will always be there because the experience is different. It's huge, sound, everything. It can't be the same when you're sitting on your mobile and watching with phone calls coming and all that. Hi, Ashok.
Ashok is
Once
saying.
Upon a time. Okay, we had a chat. Manpreet, hello.
People are coming out. You have fans watching. Do you know? Are you very well aware of our Pakistani artists, Pakistani celebrities, the people?
I know quite a few also, but why are you asking that?
I'm asking because, if you had to cast someone, just for your film.
There's so many people I always wanted to, you won't believe it, for which film? I was speaking at one point to Mahira, I think for something. Who is this other incredible actress you have who lives in Dubai most of the time? Shoot, what's her name? I'm so bad with name now.
Lives in Dubai most of the time.
Yeah. She has 2 children. She's beautiful, like most of your actresses. So I spoke to her, so there are a whole lot of, I think Mavish is wonderful, and Fuad is of course incredible, and Sabah Karima, she's the girl. I think Amina and that other lady in Cake. She was both of them. I think both of them.
Sanam Saeed and Anna.
Sanam Saeed, yes.
Saeed, yeah.
Both of them are just so wonderful. Asfar is a friend,
Asfar is a friend?
Yeah, so we've been for 10 years planning that, okay, we have to work together someday maybe. So, actually you won't believe it. I don't know if Fuad himself remembers. Before he did his first Bollywood film, I was the one who had approached him for a film and we were in talks. And that film was getting delayed, and I had introduced him to the casting agent. Her name is Nalini Ratnam, who cast him for that film.
No way. No way.
So till then, we have spoken on Skype and, really wanting to, work together. Hi, Arav. Ali Asmat is a fantastic singer, of course. And then, I have to tell you that one of the artists from Pakistan who has worked with me, and he treats me with so much of love because he thinks that film
I think a question for you. Do you think?
I was about to talk about Atif Aslam. Sir, do you think my brother Nikhil would have made nowadays with Onir? It would have been different. It is like telling me what would my brother Nikhil be if I was born 20 years later and making it. I think my brother Nikhil, don't even want to think about it, because for me, I rather be a first. So I'm glad that in 2005 I made a film when no one else dared to, and I'm glad that right now every platform has it. So if it wasn't relevant, it wouldn't be there on every platform, and I would not want to change anything about the film, because people today, youngsters today, still see the film and they relate to the film. And yeah, Vikram Singh, I was about to talk about Bas Ek Pal actually.
Yeah.
Is when there was this song by Atif Aslam called Tere Bin, which became huge. And when I spoke to Atif again, I think 2018, I wanted him to sing something. And, I making independent films, I don't have the kind of budgets. And he said, Onir, it was because of Bas Ek Pal that my entire, career suddenly took a different turn, because we made a music video. People knew that, oh my God, this is the guy.
Right.
And for me, I will always remember it. And, you're like family. I won't discuss money, whatever. And that really touched me.
Wow.
So whatever is okay. And when I went to Karachi, it was in Islamabad, I think Islamabad. Lahore. When I came last time, and I remember talking, and he's like, if you come to Lahore, aap mera mehman ho, you stay with me. So I feel just that gesture itself, I will be always grateful for that love that I got. Hi, Dana. Greetings to your guest from Pakistan. Hi.
Greetings. Thank you. Danali is here. I know. Danish, I know. He's a good friend as well. Feel free to ask questions.
Chatur Vedi, that's my dream too. That artists from both the countries coming together and working together. And Rafay is a producer, so that's why I'm being nice to him. Maybe he'll produce us.
We've spoken so many times about collaborating. There are people here. I have some journalists on board. I have Burak here. I have the Bizmax team as well. They're the people who I know professionally. They're watching this. I have Mahmood as well. Hi to everyone. They've been on board. Now I do understand that you had given me a bit of a limited time to speak to you. Some things I will ask you because I am
sure.
live.
And if anybody has any questions,
anything to ask as well,
then please
feel free. And just a few thing or two as well, that I do these sessions because I speak about the professionalism in the industry. I speak about having a very right kind of platforms for everyone. There are lots of inspiring filmmakers, lots of people who want to make great films. Something that you want to say to people who are just jumping into it, because for Pakistani cinema, we've been hit by lots of times where we had no cinema at all, and we're reviving and we're coming back, and we're trying to bring great content on and everything for people who want this great where art and entertainment bring someone great. Thank you guys for making time for this. We have Nimra Malik.
Be there always.
Nimra as well. Hi Nimra, thank you for tuning in. She's a professional journalist and a dear friend as well, and I believe you did meet her because she was on the Critics Association for the Pakistan International Film Festival. So was Burak. So I have some great people here watching with you. They're part of the judging.
Hello everybody.
So yes, so you were saying that for us, what would you say that how to go about it? Because see, I'm a filmmaker myself. I as an indie filmmaker, working and falling and coming back. Some inspiring thoughts.
Honestly, Rafay, one is unfortunately the milieu is actually, though our audience, everything so much similar, but the industry as such and the milieu which is around the industry is very different. For example, as far as I've learned that, like right now, and I keep questioning, I don't understand why isn't there a strong production presence for be it Netflix or Amazon yet in Pakistan? Right now in India, there's so much that.
Yes. Why is it
that? Because it's there. It is. There is the whole thing that suppose one tells an aspiring filmmaker is so much different because the avenues here are very different.
Right.
And the avenues in Pakistan are different. But I always believe that the core to anything is that, think of local things, at the same time, especially when you know that your industry is small, you learn from international cinema. And there is one of the biggest example I'll give you today is this filmmaker in India, her name is Reema Das. Okay, she's from Assam. The first film that she made, she had come to Bombay to become an actress, and things didn't work out. And at one point, she decided that no, let me become a filmmaker and tell stories from Assam. And for 2 years, she would watch international cinema, Iranian cinema, whatever, on YouTube, learn how to use the camera. And then a couple of years back, she went back home and she shot with, I think, D5 or something. Okay, she shot, she directed, she edited. Okay, she did the casting. She shot an entire film with a total crew of Nimra, 8 people.
Right.
And that film, which had the tiniest budget, shot by a first-time filmmaker, about a story from her village, was India's representative to Oscar. Okay, won awards at Cannes, Berlin, everywhere. It was a film called Village Rockstar. You guys can see it on Netflix.
Village Rockstar.
Her second film called Bulbul Can Sing also went to all international film festivals. Okay,
right.
She's now in international juries. So if you have a dream, look for a story maybe in your house or around your house, something that's original. And today, you can make a film with anything. You can make a film with anything. It does not matter. You don't need 100 people. You don't need the, words. Just imagine someone with 8 people and a Canon 5D. Her film going to the Oscars. Her film going to over 80 international film festivals, winning numerous awards. It's because you have a dream, which is a dream for the craft. You're honest. So that honesty and that story, I think, I tell everybody, don't give me excuses that, this is difficult. Look at people, look at these people, they're so inspiring,
Right.
And nothing should be, even you can shoot with your mobile.
Absolutely. There are no reasons.
Yeah.
Right. There are no reasons, there are no excuses. That was
so I think that is should work for filmmakers in Pakistan who are finding, it difficult maybe to get into that commercial space, is look for real. And Pakistan is, I strongly believe, is just full of stories. Because, there is so much happening, so much happening that stories are bound to be there. And those stories people from all over the world will relate. But one has to tell those stories.
Right. I agree, because just like Pakistani content, we do look up to Indian content a lot as well, and it has always been source of inspiration, and we try to cater the mass audiences and also the niche audiences with the content, and Pakistan itself has lots of stories. So I guess
Kurana, my grandmother migrated from she always wished to go back and at home hope to see more collaboration. Yes, all of us want to do that. My short film Kirki was not selected. Just wanted to know how was my idea. Gilbert, honestly speaking, I've just finished watching more than 350 films, so it's really difficult for me to remember each film in detail, but I'm sure if you look at the winners, you know that the jury had a reason for choosing the ones that have been chosen.
Fair enough. On any final closing thoughts? I know you give very inspiring thing. I've spoken to you. I've taken some time from your end, and I hope that this exchange beyond borders goes on further. People get to work, people get to interact. We get to host another Pakistan International Film Festival. You come down again as well. We get to meet. We get to host.
Now it's turn for you all to come down, and we'll make it happen.
Totally up to you. I'm waiting. Otherwise, the only option that I have is to sit in Canada and kind of collaborate with you and work with you.
You have no idea. Like half the time I'm talking to a lot of my friends in Pakistan, and I'm saying that okay, if this continues for longer, we have to all meet at some other third place, and we make a film there, something like that.
That's the only reason I decided. I was like, might as well just step out of the comfort zone and do it.
So another small thing about my trip to Pakistan is that I remember I was also little apprehensive because of the kind of films I do. That how would someone who makes films to deal with sexuality, open about oneself, be received? Does anyone even know about my films?
Right.
And in 2012 when I went, the minute I reached Karachi, my social, be it my Facebook and all that, were flooded by messages from people from Karachi.
Right.
Because thanks to piracy, everybody had seen my brother Nikhil, So I was like, for the first time, I'm like, okay, at least for piracy, there is no borders. And I love it. I mean, though I'm a filmmaker, I was so grateful that people have seen the film and the love I got. That I think 1 week or 9 days, the first time I was there.
Right.
I was just meeting people, they were so wonderful, so that was one good thing about
we've always kept in touch with Indian content somewhere, and we find
hi Motasham, hi Variation
Exponentiated so
hi Mahmood,
people are still there as well. We will always have access to great Indian content, and with the digital realm, we'll keep watching. And My Brother Nikhil was obviously, a sensational film. It has touched everyone, and it is a success. So Vishal is also saying hi. We do have people here.
Hi Vishal.
And but as it stands, Onir, I think. Utilize your given time with me right now. Just like you said, you do not sleep.
But it was lovely talking to you. It was lovely chatting, and inshallah we shall do that real soon.
It was great talking to you. I hope I did not bore you with my session, with my questions.
Hello, Sajesh.
Sajesh is here. I wish hi to everyone who's watching, who's still there, who asked the questions. Thank you for tuning in, and I'm very thankful to Onir as well for being in the live session. I will upload this session for everyone in a bit, so that people who weren't there will definitely get to watch it, because obviously in the time of Ramadan and Ramzan in Pakistan, people are offering the Tarawih, so if they weren't there, they'll get to watch it. I have the fraternity watching as well, and thank you, Onir, once again.
Thank you.
I'm thankful. Good night. I will speak to you soon, and take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Bye.